being the second generation of a family of wrestlers doesn't always work out. There are many cases in which legendary wrestlers were not able to lead their children to the same success inside the ring. In the case of Rey Mysterio, that wasn't the case, and Dominik Mysterio is probably one of the hottest names in the organization. Before we understand why, I just ask that you subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, and click the bell. Just 4 years ago, Dominik Mysterio made his debut in WWE. A promising young man of integrity, he sought to follow in the footsteps of his father, the iconic Rey Mysterio. But carrying the weight of such an imposing legacy comes with almost unbearable pressure. Being the son of a big name in wrestling is no easy task, and Dominik knew that from the very beginning. He faced the same challenge that many stars from previous generations of the sport have encountered, having been thrown to the lions too soon. Take, for example, Cody Rhodes. Before going to WWE, he spent years on the independent circuit, to then go to WWE and also have some period to work on the smaller parts of the card to develop his skills, without much pressure from the media or something related. But these days are different, and in addition to living in an extremely immediate society, we are in the era of social media, and every move made by a potential WWE star is subject to judgment, criticism, and everything else. The point is, Dom was thrown to the lions, and if he hadn't responded to expectations very quickly, as he did, his career would possibly have been destroyed. At just 23 years old, he was already the target of relentless, often absurd criticism, as if everyone expected him to be an exact replica of Rey Mysterio. However, Dominik would never be a copy of his father, and that was his greatest strength. In the last 2 years, Dominik Mysterio has proven his worth. He not only carved out his space in WWE, but also became one of the central figures in the most electrifying storylines of 2024. From an uncertain and underestimated prospect, he transformed into one of the most polarizing figures in wrestling. Loved by some, hated by others, but undeniably relevant. Today, he is WWE's wild card, the wrestler who adapts to any situation, elevating every storyline he becomes involved in. But what was the real turning point in Dominik's career? The key factor was undoubtedly his alliance with Rhea Ripley, and obviously the possibility of them having in real life. A little context. A viral video where Rhea immobilized Dominik with her legs around his neck, and you little went crazy. Shortly after, WWE began to strategically build this storyline. During a celebration for Rey Mysterio's 20 years backstage, followed in the weeks to come was a series of events that placed Dominik increasingly in Rhea's hands. On Raw, Dominik had the chance to use a kendo stick against Rhea, but the power dynamic between them was already established. With a devilish smile, Rhea made Dominik a hand over the stick, making it clear that basically, he was a simp. Just days after the explosive events that shook the WWE universe, Dominik Mysterio, surprisingly, but anticipated by many, betrayed both Edge and his own father, Rey Mysterio, at the Clash at the Castle event. Even with the betrayal being foreseen, the shock of the moment was palpable, marking one of the most intense heel turns WWE had witnessed in years. It was a turning point, not only for Dominik's character, but also for the development of his relationship with Rhea Ripley. On the Raw following Clash at the Castle, Dominik appeared with a completely revamped look, with straight black hair symbolizing his transformation. He was met with deafening boos from the crowd, reacting not just to his actions, but also to his new demeanor. This marked the beginning of a new phase, where Rhea Ripley took on a crucial role in his evolution as a villain. While Finn Balor and Damian Priest seemed to be Dominik's natural mentors before, now it was Rhea who was shaping his journey, testing his loyalty and challenging him in increasingly difficult situations. It was evident that she was the key to his complete transformation. During his first promos as an official member of Judgment Day, Rhea kept her eyes on Dominik. However, the chemistry between them seemed to go beyond a romantic relationship, leaving much to fan interpretation. A clear example of her teasing was when she wore a shirt that read, "I'm the Pappy," directed at Rey Mysterio, only to later replace it with, "I'm the Mommy," directly referencing Rey and Eddie Guerrero's storyline at SummerSlam 2005, where Guerrero claimed to be Dominik's real father, culminating in the famous custody match. Now, as an adult with his own career in WWE, Dominik was in a completely different narrative, but with Rhea Ripley by his side at every step of the way. Ripley played a crucial role, not only helping him defeat major names like AJ Styles on Raw, but also supporting his relentless harassment of the Mysterio family, culminating in the infamous Thanksgiving dinner invasion. Later, we saw Dominik physically sacrifice himself for Rhea, going so far as to be hit by a poisonous mist from Asuka. While the audience adored Rhea, Dominik became the target of hate, which only amplified the success of this dynamic on television. As the months passed, his character solidified even further, reaching a comedic and surprising peak with the emergence of Prison Dom, a persona he adopted after a brief and exaggerated stint in jail, caused by yet another interruption at a Mysterio family celebration. Dominik presented himself as someone changed by life behind bars, even though he had only spent 30 minutes in jail. The comparison to Prison Mike from The Office was inevitable, and the audience bought into the idea, albeit with a good dose of skepticism. Rhea Ripley continued to be the dominant figure alongside Dominik, training him in videos showcased by WWE and starring in the bizarre and amusing first Valentine's Day dinner of the couple, where Rhea had to intervene even in the choice of ketchup, which Dominik found too spicy. To top it off, Dominik's credit card was declined, and Rhea, as usual, had to pay the bill. This dynamic brought a new depth to Rhea's character, something no other female wrestler was doing in WWE at that time. And Dominik, nicknamed Dirty Dominik, began to reap the rewards of it. Even after losing to his father at WrestleMania 39, he quickly racked up significant victories, further growing into the role of WWE's cowardly villain. His success culminated in winning the NXT North American Championship, which brought a notable increase in the show's viewership. However, the calm wouldn't last long. In the post-WrestleMania season, Liv Morgan returned, and what seemed to be the peak of the story between Rhea and Dominik began to crumble. Liv, with her own rivalry history with Rhea Ripley, was seeking revenge and vowed to take away everything Rhea loved. Chaos was about to ensue, with Liv Morgan putting not only Rhea and Dominik's relationship at risk, but also the future of Judgment Day as we knew it. After months of tension, betrayals, and twists, everything reached its most explosive point at SummerSlam 2024 in Cleveland, Ohio. The stage was set for the battle everyone had been waiting for. Rhea Ripley, newly returned from a devastating shoulder injury, was ready to face Liv Morgan, the woman responsible for her downfall and now holding the Women's World Championship. Rhea, dressed in her signature purple and black, entered the ring like an unstoppable force, determined to prove she was back on top. Liv, on the other hand, knew she had to be strategic. She danced around the ring, clearly trying to avoid a direct confrontation with Rhea, as the tension grew with each move. Dominik, once again, was on the sidelines, ready to interfere. Everything seemed to follow the usual script, with Dominik trying to pass a chair to Liv. But this time, the scene changed. The chair that had been used to define so many matches would now be a symbol of something much greater. Liv not only used the chair to win and retain the title, she also sealed the fate of everyone involved. With a final blow to Rhea's emotions, Liv kissed Dominik in the center of the ring, while the audience watched in disbelief. Rhea, who had entered that ring determined to reclaim her place at the top, lost more than just the championship that night. She lost her partner, her ally, and in a way, her own identity. Dominik, who had faithfully followed Rhea's lead for months, was now by Liv Morgan's side, closing a chapter of betrayals and psychological games. The outcome of this epic drama proved to be more than just a simple wrestling rivalry. It was a battle that mixed love, hate, revenge, and sacrifice, leaving deep scars not only on the bodies, but also on the minds of everyone involved. Dominik Mysterio embarked on a journey that few could have predicted. The young man who, a few years ago, was seen as an innocent babyface had now become WWE's most hated character. The villain that no one could bear to listen to without deafening boos. But what led to this complete transformation? The story between Dominik, Rhea Ripley, and Liv Morgan is the perfect example of how WWE has been testing the boundaries of PG content. It's not your typical love triangle, but a tangled web of hatred, jealousy, and emotional manipulation. On Rhea's side, we have a woman who controlled Dominik like a puppet, treating him almost like her pet. Liv Morgan, on the other hand, represented the opposite, offering a role of submission, a strategy to manipulate him and hit Rhea hard. The alleged rejection of Dominik by Liv, which left her in tears in a moment of drama, was just part of a deeper plan. At its core, what we witnessed was a grand performance, a carefully orchestrated charade. Dominik, one way or another, made the decision to abandon Rhea and perhaps found more comfort in Liv Morgan's arms. But let's not be fooled. Dominik is not the victim here. He is the scoundrel of the story, the traitor who used Rhea to become someone, to establish himself as a relevant name in the world of WWE. And of course, Rhea's fans love to see him labeled that way. The most interesting point of this story is that despite Liv Morgan not being exactly a heroine, on the contrary, her motivations are dark and vengeful. She got what she wanted, revenge, and on top of that, Dominik's devotion. Nothing erases the fact that Dominik betrayed Rhea, the woman who helped him through every crucial moment of his career. It was Rhea who pulled him out of his father's shadow, who assisted him in winning his first singles title, and who strengthened him as a wrestler. And what did he do? He used Rhea for his personal gain and, in the end, traded her for a situation that seemed more favorable alongside Liv. It's interesting to realize that in a way, Rhea also emotionally abused Dominik over time, especially in the early stages of his journey with Judgment Day. This game of manipulations and abuses from both sides shows how karma finally caught up with everyone. And that is the true brilliance of WWE's long-term narrative. There are no completely defined heroes and villains. It's the shades of gray, the moments of moral ambiguity that make everything so captivating. Now Dominik, once the babyface everyone adored, is WWE's greatest villain. The arenas give him not a second of peace. Every word he utters is met with deafening boos. And there's no doubt that he will pay the price for his actions. Sooner or later, the consequences will come. The big question hanging in the air is Dominik the player in this story, or will he be played? Something tells us that a new journey of revenge is just beginning, and this tale will still bring many twists for Dirty Dom. Meanwhile, Dominik Mysterio continues his rise as the most hated man in professional wrestling. The plot is far from over, and the repercussions promise to be significant for everyone involved. How do you feel about Dominik's transformation from a beloved babyface to the WWE's most hated villain? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. See you in the next one.